Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namete Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityananda Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvasesha Sunyavari Paschatya Satarine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvasesha Sunyavari Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, oh Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prabhu Premanandi, Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Good to see all of you on this eve of Gopurnim, most auspicious occasion of the appearance of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this evening we'll just read something to remind us, or to get us into the mood of Gopurnim. We're going to read from Chaitanya Charitamrita, and this is the build up to the appearance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If you have the means, you can follow. It's chapter 13 of the Adi Leela. And we'll start with text number 51. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda,
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda,
Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrindam,
Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrindam,
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda,
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda,
Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrindam,
Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrindam,
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda,
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda,
Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrindam,
Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrindam.
Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, the compiler of Chaitanya Charitamrita, is writing, and he's just described the wonderful Chaitanya Mangala compiled by Vrindavan Das Thakur, and how this is the authorized biography of Lord Chaitanya. Anyone who reads this Chaitanya Bhagavat is assured to awaken their love for Lord Chaitanya and ultimately Radha and Krishna. So he's paying all his respects to Vrindavan Das, and is explaining that he's just taking the remnants, the chewed remnants of Vrindavan Das, those which he's not actually written in his book, and he's placing them in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So we'll start with text number 51. I'll just read the English due to time factors. My dear devotees of Lord Chaitanya, let me now write a synopsis of the Adi Leela. The Adi means the first, can mean original, but in this case it means the first part of Lord Chaitanya's manifest pastimes. Mostly the Chaitanya Bhagavat deals with the early part of Lord Chaitanya's Leela in Navadvip. And not so much contained, it's there, but not so much of the later pastimes. But Chaitanya Charitamrita only briefly deals with the early pastimes of Lord Chaitanya and is more extensive with the Lord's pastimes in Jagannath Puri. And one of the reasons being is that Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, not just because he didn't want to repeat or in any way offend Vrindavan Das Thakur by trying to explain the same pastimes in some cases, but in general not. But because Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami was ordered to write this Chaitanya Charitamrita by the devotees of Vrindavan, because he had heard it from Raghunath Das Goswami. Now Raghunath Das Goswami had practically no contact with Lord Chaitanya's earlier pastimes in Navadvip. But he was fully privy to almost all the pastimes in Jagannath Puri. So primarily Raghunath Das had heard them also, those that he wasn't privy to. He'd heard them from Srup Damodar Goswami, Lord Chaitanya's permanent secretary, who was keeping a record of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes in note form. In Navadvip, Murari Gupta was also keeping, and that was also available because Vrindavan Das Thakur had already extensively compiled his book describing those pastimes. Vrindavan Das had already done that, so Krishna Das doesn't go into so much detail. But here we see him writing a little bit about the early pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. I write these pastimes in brief because it's not possible to describe them in full. To fulfill a particular desire within his mind, Lord Krishna, Vrajendra Kumar, decided to descend to this planet after mature contemplation. And you know this is a very rare occasion. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu only appears in this universe, or to speak of this planet, in this universe. How often does he appear? Who knows? How often does Lord Chaitanya appear? Hare Krishna, Madam Prabhu. Good to see you. How often does Lord Chaitanya appear?
Once every day.
Pardon?
Once every day. Once a day.
Oh, once every day. Every day? Oh, Lord Brahma. How long is that? How long is a day of Lord Brahma? A day. How long is one day? By Earth years? More or less. Yeah. 4,320,000,000 years. It's quite a long time, I guess you would say. 4 billion. 4,320 million years. That's a fair time, isn't it? That's the day. And then the night is the same duration. So you could say once every 8,640,000,000 years. And I think modern day anthropologists and scientists, or whatever you call them, would have a hard time, being able to relate to that. That's just one day in his life. So you imagine how long he lives. So Lord Chaitanya only appears once in every day of Brahma in this universe. And she's got to appear somewhere. So he's chosen this earth planet, and specifically, of course, Nadia, where he appears to perform his pastimes. Lord Krishna, therefore, first allowed his family of superiors to descend to the earth. Amazing, his family of superiors. But isn't Krishna the supreme? Isn't he the most superior? Is there anyone superior to the Lord? Matak Bharataram Nanyat Kinchidasti Dhananjaya. He says, there's no truth superior to me. But here he says, he first allowed his family of superiors to appear. How would you understand that? Family of superiors.
His father.
Well, yeah, his father. Of course, he's the origin of his father. The uniqueness. But this is all Leela, isn't it? Even material world, sometimes you may be, you probably aren't, but if you were the president of Philippines, and obviously we're not, but if you were, and you go home, your mother and father are still your superiors, aren't they? In the home, isn't it? They're the boss in the home, not you. You may be the president of the Philippines, but when you go home to mum and dad, they're the boss. They're the superiors. Your uncles, your grandparents, they're the superiors, seniors in your family circle. And this comes from Krishna because he relishes this. He relishes to be subservient to his devotees. Those who are his unalloyed devotees, to him they're his superiors. I should try to describe them in brief because it is not possible to describe them fully. Lord Sri Krishna, before appearing as Lord Chaitanya, requested these devotees to precede him. And here's some of those devotees, you obviously know some of them. Of course, his mother and father, who were? Of course, it's Nanda and Yasoda, but they appear in Chaitanya Leela as? And Jagannath Mishra. There is mother and father. Who else of his devotees did he ask to appear before him?
His brother.
Pardon?
His brother.
Slightly, yeah. Vishvarup, slightly. There's Lord Balaram. He's Lord Balaram. Who else? Of course, you could say Nityananda because he's also Lord Balaram. They're just different forms of Lord Balaram. As Gadadhar Pandit and Lord Chaitanya are both in the form of Radharani and mood of Radharani, you could say, but in different moods, in different aspects of that form. And who else? Advaita Acharya. Who else? Pardon? Madhavendra Puri, and obviously Ishvara Puri, Srivas Pandit and his wife, Advaita Acharya and his wife, Haridas Thakur, Paramananda Puri, Pundarik Vijayanidhi, Keshava Bharati, different devotees. Vijayanidhi, Pundarik Vijayanidhi, Acharya Ratna, different devotees were asked to appear. There was also Sri Upendra Mishra, a resident of the district of Sri Hatta. He was a great devotee of Lord Vishnu, a learned scholar, a rich man, a reservoir of all good qualities. Jagannath Mishra was designated as Purandar. We have Purandar in Manila. Exactly like Nanda Maharaj and Vasudev, he was an ocean of all good qualities. His wife, Srimati Sachi Devi, was a chaste woman, highly devoted to her husband. Sachi Devi's father's name was? Sachi Devi, father, name.
Krishna.
Not Krishna, no.
No.
Not even our Krishna. It's okay, I know what you mean. It's just expressing your surprise that you can't remember. Who was the father of Mother Sachi? Do you remember? Nilambar Chakravarti. Lord Chaitanya's grandfather. And his surname was Chakravarti. In Radhadesh, the part of Bengal where the Ganges is not visible, Nityananda Prabhu, Gangadas, Murari Gupta and Mukunda took birth. Lord Krishna, Rajendra Kumar, first caused countless devotees to appear, and at last he appeared himself. He calls them to, it's natural that any important person in this world also sends, in advance, they send their advance party to prepare everything, make everything as ready for their arrival. If President Trump were to come to Philippines, he would certainly send, his advance party here first to make sure everything was right and secure and safe, isn't it? He came to France in December this year. They opened up the Notre Dame, the church that got burned, They reopened it. So I don't know if he invited or he invited himself, but the whole centre of Paris was cordoned off. No one could go in. Security. He must have sent many, many people first ahead of him to make sure everything was, what it's meant to be. So Krishna does too, to prepare the way. Before the appearance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all the devotees of Navadvip used to gather in the house of? That's a good sense. You're both right in one sense. Advaita Acharya. Initially Advaita Acharya. In these meetings of the Vaishnavas, Advaita Acharya used to recite the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, decrying the paths of philosophical speculation and fruitive activity, and establishing the super excellence of devotional service. So this time, and people were kind of religious, they were pious, but they were mostly interested in karma kanda, material elevation. Very interested in their families, getting their daughters married, and it was all very ritualistic. They weren't really interested in pure devotion. And very smarta Brahmin society, they're very caste conscious and so on. So Advaita Acharya, he was the head of the Brahmins, but he wasn't like that. He was very, feeling sad that there was no devotees anywhere, practically. Haridas Thakur suddenly turned up. He was very happy when he turned up at Shantipur. And they associated a lot. And then other devotees from Navadvip would come, and he would speak on the Bhagavad Gita with a personal understanding. In all the revealed scriptures of the Vedic culture, devotional service to Lord Krishna is explained throughout. Therefore, devotees of Lord Krishna do not recognize the processes of philosophical speculation, mystic yoga, unnecessary austerity, and so-called religious rituals. They do not accept any process but devotional service. In the house of Advaita Acharya, all the Vaishnavas took pleasure in always talking of Krishna, always worshipping Krishna, and always chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. But Sri Advaita Acharya Prabhu felt pain to see all the people without Krishna consciousness simply merging in material sense enjoyment. Seeing the condition of the world, he began to think seriously of how all these people could be delivered from the clutches of Maya. Sri Advaita Acharya Prabhu thought, if Krishna himself appears in order to distribute the cult of devotional service, then only will liberation be possible for all the people. With this consideration, Advaita Acharya Prabhu, promising to cause Lord Krishna to descend, began to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, with what? What did he worship him with? Tulsi leaves and Ganges water. And he chanted a mantra. Did he chant the mantra? No, he didn't. Yes, he did. It doesn't say it here. By loud cries, he invited Krishna to appear. And this repeated invitation attracted Lord Krishna to descend. So this is one of the prime reasons why Lord Chaitanya descends. When his devotee sincerely calls for him, it's only natural. It's a very personal relationship. Krishna's primary purpose for coming is to satisfy his devotees. Paritranayam sadhanam. So by the calls of Advaita Acharya, actually it's described perhaps in Chaitanya Bhagavat, that it was both Advaita Acharya and Haridas who were both appealing for the Lord to come. Before the birth of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, 8 daughters took birth, one after another, from the womb of Sachi Mata, the wife of Jagannath Mishra. 8 daughters. Just imagine. But just after birth, they all died. Very strange. Jagannath Mishra was very unhappy at the death of his children, one after another. Therefore, desiring a son, he worshipped the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. After this, Jagannath Mishra got a son of the name. Can you push that forward? Can you push this forward? That way. I'll put my feet down. A son of the name. What was the name?
Vishwarup.
Vishwarup.
Is that your answer?
No. Okay. Vishwarup. He begot a son of the name Vishwarup, who was most powerful and highly qualified because he was an incarnation of Baladev. Confirmed. The expansion of Baladev, known as Sankarshan, is in the spiritual world, is the ingredient and immediate cause of the material cosmic manifestation. This whole manifestation, and including the Chatavura expansions, the Narayan, Vasudev, Sankarshan, and Nirud, including the Purusha avatars, and all the various avatars, they all descend from Baladev. The Jiva Tattva also comes from Baladev. He is the source of all these energies. He's not the source of the Ladini Shakti, that's Radharani, the internal potency, and the various Shaktis that expand in the form of the Lord's consorts. They are expansions of Srimati Radharani. Even the illusory effect of Mayadevi coming from Radharani. The gigantic universal form is called the Vishwarup incarnation, related, of Mahasankarshan. Thus we do not find anything within the cosmic manifestation except the Lord himself. An important point for aspiring devotees to remember that actually whatever situation you're in, whatever's going on around us, ultimately is an expansion of the Lord. As the threads in a cloth spread both lengthwise and breadthwise, so the Supreme Personality of Godhead exists directly and indirectly within everything that we see in the cosmic manifestation. This is not very wonderful for him. You can push that a little bit that way, it's kind of over there. And I've got to get it down and up because I can't read the book otherwise. There we go.
Marge, how about your back?
My back? It's still there, is it? Yeah, it's still there. Oh yeah, you can put some
Marge, you want support for your back?
Yeah, if you want. Why not?
It's not that much.
Because Mahasankarshan is the ingredient and efficient cause of this manifestation. He is present in every detail of it. Don't forget, never alone, huh? Lord's always there. Lord Chaitanya therefore called him his elder brother. The 2 brothers are known as Krishna and Balaram in the spiritual world. But at the present moment they are Chaitanya and Nitai. And Nitai is also the same. It's not Vishwarup directly, but they're actually one. Vishwarup eventually merged into Nityananda. Therefore the conclusion is that Nityananda Prabhu is the original Sankarshan, or Baladev. The husband and wife, Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Mata, having gotten Vishwarup as their son, were very pleased within their minds because of their pleasure. They specifically began to serve the lotus feet of Govinda. In the month of January, in the year 1406 of the Shaka era, which is the equivalent of AD 1485, Lord Krishna entered the bodies of both Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Devi. He simultaneously entered their bodies. There's a little purport here. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took his birth in the year 1407 in Shaka era, AD 1486, in the month of Falgun. But here we see that he entered the bodies of his parents in the year 1406 in the month of Magh. Therefore the Lord entered the bodies of his parents 13 full months before his birth. A little longer than usual, isn't it? Generally, a common child remains within the womb of his mother for around 10 lunar months. But here we see that the Lord remained within the body of his mother for 13 months. It's on the board, is it?
Yes.
Okay, I wonder why everyone was looking up in the sky there. I wonder what's going on. Jagannath Mishra said to Sachimata, I see wonderful things. Your body is effulgent, and it appears as if the goddess of fortune were now staying personally in my home. Anywhere and everywhere I go, all people offer me respect, even without my asking. They voluntarily give me riches, clothing, and paddy. Sachimata told her husband, I see wonderfully brilliant human beings appearing in outer space as if offering prayers. Jagannath Mishra then replied, in a dream I saw the effulgent abode of the Lord enter my heart. From my heart it entered your heart. I therefore understand that a great personality will soon take birth. After this conversation, both husband and wife were very jubilant, and together they rendered service to the household Shalagram Shila. In this way, the pregnancy approached its 13th month, but still there was no sign of the delivery of the child. Thus Jagannath Mishra became greatly apprehensive. Nilambar Chakravarti, the grandfather of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then did an astrological calculation and said that in that very month, taking advantage of an auspicious moment, the child would take birth. Thus, in the year 1407 of the Shaka era, in the month of Falgun, February-March, in the evening of the full moon day, the desired auspicious moment arrived. And there's a little description of the astrological situation at that moment, the very auspicious conjunction of the various stars or planets. According to the Jyotir Veda or Vedic astrology, the auspicious birth moment is described as follows. So of course that's tomorrow, that's at noon, when the moon rises, tomorrow, when the moon rises. The moon was in Leo, the figure of the lion in the zodiac. Leo was the ascendant. He's a lion. Lord Chaitanya was like a lion, The figure of the lion. Leo was the ascendant. Several planets were strongly positioned, and the Sattvarga and Ashtavarga showed all auspicious influences. When the spotless moon of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became visible, what would be the need for a moon full of black marks on its body? Considering this, Rahu, the black planet, covered the full moon, and immediately vibrations of Krishna, Krishna, Hari inundated the three worlds. And this is, you could say, the purpose of this pastime, to bring everyone to chant the holy name. Even the eclipse, which was transcendental arrangement of the Lord, even Rahu was thinking like this, what's the need of a full moon when Mahaprabhu was appearing? So he covered the moon. It was a kind of a service to the Lord. And when the eclipse is there, I don't know if tomorrow's an eclipse, is it? An eclipse tomorrow? quite often on the Purnimas and eclipse, and Gopurnim particularly. Tomorrow is also, tomorrow is also the Holi festival, this Holi festival. Do you do it here, Holi? Never done it? It's become a very popular festival throughout ISKCON. You've probably seen it on social media. What do they do on Holi? Have you been in Vrindavan on Holi? You've been there? Go for a name. Pretty wild, huh? In the morning. It goes quiet in the afternoon, but the morning is really wild. And all the days, now it used to be just on one day, now it's like 7 days, maybe more. Before Gopurnim, the whatever they are, devotees, pilgrims, whatever you call them, visitors, they have Holi. They every day there's Holi festival going on. We arrived last year. Ekadashi. Ekadashi was what? Yesterday, day before? 2 days ago? 2 or 3 days ago? Ekadashi. We arrived that time on last year, on Ekadashi day. And my God, I've never seen anything like it in Vrindavan. They're getting very strict now on traffic coming into Vrindavan on festival days. You're blocked about almost a mile out of the town. Way down the marg. You can't go unless you're a resident, and they're not very restricted also. Because on Ekadashi, you won't believe it. I mean, maybe you've been there. Last year was a very special one, I believe. But you could hardly walk on the Parikrama path. It was almost, you were there? It was like sardines almost, wasn't it? Remember when we arrived? Trying to walk along the Parikrama path. It was so crowded. I don't know how many people they said. 1 million people took Parikrama that day, I think. Something like 1 million devotees on the Parikrama path in Vrindavan throughout the day and night, packed. And everywhere, you couldn't avoid it, even if you tried. People were just throwing dyes and all sorts of things. It's gone a little bit extreme, but this is one of Krishna's favorite pastimes, this Holi festival, where they all, unabashed, without any inhibition, they're all throwing dyes, colored dyes at each other. It's great fun. And this is being done in quite a few ISKCON temples now throughout the world. I don't know, don't do it in this part of the world maybe, but in India, maybe, I don't know, not seen. But certainly in America, a few temples are doing, Australia they're doing it, and New Zealand they did it this year, in England, and 1 or 2 other places in Europe. They're doing this Holi festival. Many people come. In New Zealand, this is the first time they did it this year. No, it's not. They've been doing it for a few years. They did it this year in New Zealand. And 15,000 public came. 15,000 members of the public. Not a lot of Indians, but a lot of non-Indians, Westerners. They like to come. And even the president of New Zealand was there. The president came. He was squirting dyes at everybody, and he was covered in dyes. The president. The fire brigade come for health reasons, protection. And what they do is they fill up their fire tank with colored dyes. You were there, right? And they shower people with colored dyes from the hoses. Policemen are there, they're all covered in dye. Everyone just relishes it, It's something you can think of in the future as a joyful festival. It brings all kinds of people together, Maybe you haven't got the facility, but it's a very joyful festival. Many people come and they all get prasadam and hear the holy name. And many books are sold. According to the Jyotirveda Veda, a lunar eclipse takes place when the Rahu planet comes in front of the full moon. It is customary in India that all the followers of the Vedic scriptures bathe in the Ganges or the sea as soon as there is a lunar or solar eclipse. All strict followers of the Vedic religion stand up in the water throughout the whole period of the eclipse and chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. At the time of the birth of Lord Chaitanya, such a lunar eclipse took place. And naturally all the people standing in the water were chanting, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All people thus chanted the Hare Krishna mantra during the lunar eclipse, and their minds were struck with wonder. When the whole world was thus chanting the holy name of the Lord, Krishna, in the form of Gaura Hari, advented himself on the earth. The whole world was pleased. While the Hindus chanted the holy name of the Lord, the non-Hindus, especially the Muslims, jokingly imitated the words. While all the ladies vibrated the holy name of Hari on earth, in the heavenly planets dancing and music were going on, for the demigods were very curious. In this atmosphere all the 10 directions became jubilant, as did the waves of the rivers. Moreover, all beings moving and non-moving were overwhelmed with transcendental bliss. Thus, by the causeless mercy, the full moon, Gaura Hari, rose in the district of Nadia, which is compared to Udayagiri, where the sun first becomes visible. His rising in the sky dissipated the darkness of sinful life, and thus the 3 worlds became joyful and chanted the holy name of the Lord. At that time, Advaitacharya, in his own house at Shantipur, was dancing in a pleasing mood. Taking Haridas Thakur with him, he danced and loudly chanted, Hare Krishna. But why they were dancing, no one could understand. Seeing the lunar eclipse and laughing, Advaitacharya and Haridas Thakur immediately went to the bank of the Ganges and bathed in the river in great jubilation. Taking advantage of the occasion of the lunar eclipse, Advaitacharya, by his mental strength, distributed various types of charity to the Brahmanas. When he saw the whole world was jubilant, Haridas Thakur, his mind astonished, directly and indirectly expressed himself to Advaitacharya. Your dancing and distributing charity are very pleasing to me. I can understand there is some special purpose in these actions. Acharya Ratna and Srivas Thakur were overwhelmed with joy, and immediately they went to the bank of the Ganges to bathe in her waters. Their minds full of happiness, they chanted the Hare Krishna mantra and gave charity by mental strength. It's kind of funny, huh? Most people think an eclipse is very inauspicious. Huh? But you see, the devotees are very happy. They're taking advantage of the... For a devotee, something inauspicious can become very, very auspicious if we take advantage of it. You know? This is a great opportunity to chant the holy name. It's a great opportunity to preach. It's a great opportunity to take bath in the river Ganga. It's an incentive. It reminds the devotee of the Lord. The materialist, it might be an ill omen of some kind. But for devotees, it's a most, like Ekadashi is a very considered to be, in one sense, it's the day of Lord Hari, but for people in general, it's not really a good day at all. But for the devotees, it's a great day. It's a great day for being Krishna conscious. Even, so many events, devotees, they take advantage of every situation. When the difficult situations are the greatest opportunities. Dressing themselves, all sorts of respectable Brahmin gentlemen and ladies carrying plates filled with various gifts, came with their presentations, seeing the newborn child, whose form resembled natural glaring gold. All of them happily offered their blessings. Dressing themselves as the wives of Brahmins, all the celestial, that means for the heavens, celestial ladies, including the wives of Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lord Nrsingadev. You don't usually hear about the wife of Lord Nrsingadev. Who's the wife of Lord? Because there's Lakshmi Devi. Lakshmi Nrsinga. But you don't usually think of him like that, He has his planet. He does have his planet. But his Lakshmi Devi, King Indra and Vashishta Rishi, along with Rumba, a dancing girl of heaven, came there with varieties of gifts. In outer space, all the demigods, including the inhabitants of Gandharvaloka, Siddhaloka, and Charanaloka, offered their prayers and danced to the accompaniment of music, songs, and the beating of drums. Similarly, in Navadvip city, all the professional dancers, musicians, and blessers gathered together, dancing in great jubilation. No one could understand who was coming and who was going, who was dancing and who was singing, nor could they understand one another's language. Yet all unhappiness and lamentation were immediately dissipated, and people became all jubilant. Thus Jagannath Mishra was also overwhelmed with joy. Hare Krishna. Well, I'm going to finish there tonight because we have a long day tomorrow. Very important day in our calendar. Practically the most important day of the year. So we want to see if we can be fortunate enough to come to Mangalarti. We don't know, but we hope so. We can't guarantee anything, but that's the plan. And then hopefully be able to spend the day absorbed in remembering Lord Chaitanya, because we understand that from Shastra, that by remembering Lord Chaitanya, what happens? If you remember Lord Chaitanya,
most difficult things become easy.
Yeah, well, we were on the ball. Difficult things become very easy. And if you forget him, what do you reckon? Easy things become difficult. It's certainly not easy to go back to Godhead. Not easy to conquer the mind. Not easy to give up material sense enjoyment. Not easy maybe even to follow the program. But if we remember Lord Chaitanya, it becomes possible, it becomes easier. Remember Lord Chaitanya. By His mercy, we're here. By His mercy, we can go back to Godhead. So we should try to remember Lord Chaitanya. So hopefully tonight we think about the day tomorrow and be ready for tomorrow's festival. I presume that there's a notice up somewhere with a schedule, is that right? Has the schedule been made known to everybody?
It's been posted online.
Pardon?
It's been posted.
It's online? I don't know what the schedule is. I more or less know, but I don't know exactly. I heard there's a drama tomorrow afternoon, is that right? Is that correct? What time?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. So what's the program in the evening? Is there a schedule? Any schedule for the evening?
Yes, ma'am.
Can someone read it out?
1 second.
That's a long second. That's 1 second in the day of Lord Sridham.
So it says here, this is from Maturna, he just sent to me. 12, evening time, 3:30.
12, what?
Sorry, 12 noon is Raj Bhoga, 2 p.m. Kirtan, 3:30 lecture, Lordship Gauranga's pastime.
Oh.
4:40 festival deities, Maha Abhishek. 6 p.m. Gurukul performance. 6:30 Gaura Arati. 7 p.m. Pushpa Abhishek.
Oh.
8 p.m. Prashadam.
Wow. Morning time?
Morning time, 4:30 Mangala Arti, 4:50 Nishinga Day.
5:15. 4:50. 4:50.
4:50. 5 a.m. Tulasi Arati, 7:45 Srila Prabhupada Puja. 8 a.m. Greetings of the deities. 8:15 Lecture of Lord Gauranga's appearance.
8:15 of Lord Chaitanya's appearance, is it?
10 a.m. Initiation Ceremony. 11:30 Utsav Deities Mahabhishek.
Yeah, that's kind of a rough outline. The actual outline is more likely that the class will start at 8:15, 8:30 maybe. The kirtan usually goes on a little longer on Gaur Purnima if it's fired up. And so approximately 8:30 there'll be a class. Now, that class will be on Lord Chaitanya's appearance. Is that what it says?
Yes.
And that will merge into the class for initiation. Is that the idea? Okay, so that will kind of like be a kind of a blend going from Lord Chaitanya to the initiation. Then there's an initiation when it says 10 a.m. That means probably the yajna begins at 10 a.m. And that will be here in the temple room? Okay. So tomorrow morning is a yajna, initiation yajna apparently. And then after that yajna, there's, what is it you said, No.
11:30, Utsav Dinki's Maha Abhishek.
11:30. Yeah. So more or less there's a full program throughout the day with a sort of possible break in the middle of the day for resting or catching up on your own things. But it should be constant kirtan going on if possible. Is it? I mean, it's good if there is.
And Harinam Ruchi, they are planning to go to Harinam.
I have no idea. They're planning?
2 p.m.
Tomorrow afternoon?
That's what they said.
Okay, where are they going to go? In the village down there?
San Pablo.
San Pablo, okay. So there may be a Harinam in the afternoon going out into San Pablo. Anyone wants to join? Is that the 2 o'clock kirtan or is that a different?
It's different Maharaj. They made their own plans.
2 o'clock kirtan and they're going to go.
Okay, they're kirtan, but they can go anytime they like, can't they? After the, well, more or less, after the Abhishek or something, they may go anywhere. And, yeah, so 2 programs going on simultaneously, which is nice, the more the merrier. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.